Good day, learners. Welcome back to our discussion on rational functions. I am Engineer Peter Benjamin Obiano, your lecturer for this video. We are still under rational functions, under functions and their graphs. Nasa pangalawang video na tayo ng ating discussion on representing a rational function through its table, graph, and equation. Last video, we talked about representing a rational function through its table of values. In this video, we will learn how to represent a rational function through its graph. So yun po yung ating topic for this video. At the end of the video, I hope that we will be able to learn how to represent a rational function through its graph. More on basics lang po tayo ng plotting a graph. In the future, magkakaroon pa tayo ng ibang topics on graphing. And doon na natin i-discuss yung mga mas advanced pang mga concepts and terms. For now, basics on graphing rational functions muna tayo. Now, before watching the video, I hope that by this time, alam na po natin kung paano mag-represent ng isang rational function gamit ang table of values nito. Ito po ay na-discuss natin sa recent na LBV GMath 1-2.4a. Alright, let us now learn how to represent a rational function as its graph. So let's use the following exercises. Exercise number 1. The speed of a runner in meters per second represented by the function s of t is equal to 500 over t, where t is the run time of the runner in seconds. Show a graph representing the speed of the runner from 10 to 50 seconds. Use an interval of 10 seconds. What is given? Alam natin na ang speed of the runner will be represented by the function s of t, which is equal to this one, 500 over t. Now, what is t? T is the time in seconds. At sabi, i-graph down natin yung ating function from time of 10 to 50 seconds. What is asked? Sabi, gawa daw tayo ng graph representing the speed of the runner from 10 to 50 seconds with an interval of 10 seconds. Now, before we can graph our function, we need first to make its table of values. Kaya nga, dapat alam na natin kung paano gumawa ng table of values. So, yun yung step 1. Gawin muna natin yung table of values. Alright, so let's do this first. Alam niyo pa naman siguro, So, we have our function, and sinabi naman po sa tanong that we will evaluate this function at 10, 20, 30, 40, and 50 seconds. Again, sabi dito kasi 10 to 50. Tapos, ang interval mo, tigti 10 seconds. So, ibig sabihin 10, 20, 30, 40, 50 siya. Sige, i-apply lang natin. Substitute natin yung 10 dito sa formula. Alright, at t is 10 seconds, we will solve s of t is equal to 500 over 10, and we will get 50. Again, ang unit nito will be in meters per second. Next, at t is 20 seconds, so substitute natin yung 20 dito, masosolve natin na ang speed ay 25 meters per second. At time is 30 seconds, s of t is equal to 500 over 30, we will get 16.67 meters per second. Next, we have at time is 40 seconds, s of t is equal to 500 over 40, which will give us 12.5 meters per second. Lastly, at time is 50 seconds, substitute natin sa formula, 500 over 50, we will get 10 meters per second. Again, to make things faster for us, kung pwede naman, gamit na lang tayo ng calculator to solve the values. Alright, from our previous step, we got the following. At time is 10, the speed is 50. At time is 20, the speed is 25. At time is 30, the speed is 16.67. At time is 40, it's 12.5. And lastly, at time is 50, it's 10. So again, let's just put these values on a table to make things easier for us later. Ang convention usually is kung ano yung variable na nilagyan mo ng value. In this case, yung t, yun yung ilalagay mo sa first column or first row. Depende kung nakatayo or nakahiga yung table natin. Tapos, yung values ng function, yung values ng S of t. In this case, ito naman yung ilalagay natin sa second row or second column. I believe sa previous video natin, ang orientation ng table natin ay nakahiga. Of course, pwede mo namang i-arrange yung table natin na nakatayo. So again, the values of t will be placed on the first column and the values of S of t will be placed on the second column. Tapos, ingat na lang no, sa magkakapartner. So again, at time is 10, the speed is 50. At 20, it's 25. At 30, it's 16.67. At 45, it's 12.5. And lastly, at 50, it's 10. Now that we have obtained our table, let us now get the plot of the graph. So to plot the graph with the values of t on the x-axis and corresponding values of s of t on the y-axis. Usually, ito yung convention. Usually, kung ano yung variable na ginamit sa function, again, in this case, yung t, yun yung ilalagay natin sa x-axis. Tapos, yung values ng function, in this case, s of t, yun yung nilalagay sa y-axis. So, yung sinasubstitute, yun yung mga nilalagay natin sa x-axis. Yung mga nakukuha nating sagot, yun yung ilalagay natin sa y-axis. Tapos, iti-treat natin to na isang coordinate. So, halimbawa, t is 10, s of t is 50. Parang sa x-axis, ang x-coordinate mo ay 10 at ang y-coordinate mo ay 50. So, i-plot lang natin. So, sabi na natin, ito yung ating Cartesian plane. Again, ilalagay natin sa x-axis yung mga t. Ilalagay natin sa y-axis yung mga s of t. So, unahin natin yung 10 at 50. So, again, parang x-coordinate 10, y-coordinate 50. So, x-coordinate 10 and then y-coordinate of 50. Ibig sabihin, your point is somewhere here. So, ito siya. Yan. Yan yung at time is 10. So, at time is 10, the speed is 50. Tapos, ituloy na lang natin. So, punta natin si time 20. At time is 20, the speed is 25. Nasaan yung 25? Sabi na natin, nasa gitna ng 30 at 20. So, it's somewhere here. So, ito yung at time is 20, the speed is 25. Next, at time of 30, it's 16.67. Isobra natin ng konti sa gitna ng 10 at 20. So, somewhere here. At time is 40, it's 12.5. So, isobra lang natin ng konti sa 10. So, ito yung 40. Ito yung 10. So, isobra natin ng konti. Yun yung 12.5. So, sabi na natin somewhere here. And lastly, at time of 50, the speed is 10. So, at time of 50, the speed is 10. So, 50, 10, nandito yung ating point. Tapos yun na, i-connect mo na lang yung mga points natin. And there you have it. This is now our graph for the given problem. Alright, anong maganda sa graph? Well, isa sa gamit ng graph is again, kagaya din ng table of values, you can actually observe what is happening sa ating scenario. Mas madali nating makita dito, mas obvious. Makikita natin na as the time of travel increases, the speed decreases. So we can say that time and speed are inversely proportional. So yun, that is how you make a graph. That is how you interpret a graph. Sige, practice tayo. Let us go to question number 2. Plot the graph of the function x minus 1 all over x minus 2. Again, the first step that we are going to do is let us make a table. Yan. So what is given? We know that the function f of x is equal to x minus 1 over x minus 2. Again, we make a graph for this function. Pero yun nga, bago tayo makabuo ng graph, para mas madali later, gawa muna tayo ng table of values. Okay. So again, ito yung ating step 1. Gawa muna tayo ng table of values. Walang sinabi kung ano yung values ng x na gagamitin natin. Walang sinabi na evaluate this function from x is ganito to ganito. Walang sinabing ganon. Kaya, depende sa atin kung ano ang values ng x. It's up to us na ngayon kung anong value of x. You can use any range that you want. You can use any values that you want. For this video, ganito na lang gawin natin para lang maipakita. Let us evaluate this function from x is -5 to x is +5. Tapos, ang gagawin nating increment para sa x ay tig-1. So, ibig sabihin nito, isosolve lang natin itong function na ito at -5, tapos -4, -3, -2, and so on hanggang +5. So, again, to make things faster, easier, let's use the calculators kung pwede. Okay, sige. At x is -5, substitute natin, yung -5 sa x. So, you'll get -5 minus 1 over -5 minus 2. We will get 0.86. At x is -4, substitute lang natin ang -4 sa x. You'll get -4 minus 1 over -4 minus 2. We will get 0.83. At x is -3, you'll get -3 minus 1 over -3 minus 2. Solving for the value of our function, we will get 0.8. At x is -2, you'll get -2 minus 1 over -2 minus 2. Then the answer is 0.75. At x is -1, you'll get -1 minus 1 over -1 minus 2, which gives us 0.67. At x is 0, you'll get 0 minus 1 over 0 minus 2, which will give us 1/2 or 0.5. Tuloy natin. At x is +1, you'll get 1 minus 1 over 1 minus 2, which will give us 0. Now, what will happen at x is 2? Take note, if we substituted 2 sa x, take a look at the denominator, we will get division by 0. So this will become 1 over 0. Again, hindi pwede yung over 0. Kaya, at x is 2, our function is actually undefined. We don't know kasi nga hindi pwede ang division by 0. Next, at x is 3, so f of 3 is equal to 3 minus 1 over 3 minus 2, which will give us 2. Next, at x is 4, you'll get 4 minus 1 over 4 minus 2, which will give us 1.5. And lastly, at x is 5, you'll get 5 minus 1 over 5 minus 2, giving us 1.33. Okay, so yan na po yung mga iba't ibang values natin. Again, para madali, no? At hindi tayo magkamali, to be safe, mag-calculator na lang tayo kung pwede namang gamitin. Ito yung mga values na nakuha natin. Again, at x is -5, f of x is 0.86. At x is -4 is 0.83. At x is -3, it's 0.8. At x is -2, it's 0.75. At x is -1, it's 0.67. At x is 0, it's 0.5. At x is 1, that is 0. At x is 2, again, hindi pwede kasi magiging division by 0, kaya undefined tayo. At x is +3, the value is 2. At x is 4, it's 1.5. And at x is 5, it's 1.33. Let's arrange them in table form. Again, ilagay natin yung values ng x sa first column at yung values ng f of x sa second column. We will get this one. So, -5, -4, -3, -2, -1, 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and their corresponding values. Ngayong nagawa na natin yung table, pwede na tayong mag-graph. So let us plot the graph with the values of x on the x-axis and the corresponding values of f of x on the y-axis. Okay, sige. So, unti-untihin natin. -5 tayo. So, at -5 is 0.86. So, medyo ilapit-lapit natin sa 1. So, somewhere here. Okay, so somewhere here. Again, yung x ay nasa x-axis, yung values ng f of x, yun yung nasa y-axis. Okay, next. At -4, it's 0.83. -4.83. So, medyo malapit-lapit yung dalawa. Next, at -3, it's 0.8. Somewhere here, kunyari. At -2, it's 0.75. Tansyahan na lang. At -1, it's 0.67. And at 0, it's 0.5. So, let's say nasa medyo gitna ng 0 at ng 1. At x is 1, magsasaktong 0. So, nasa x-axis yung point natin. Undefined tayo sa x is 2, so wala tayong ilalagay sa x is 2. So let's now go to x is 3. At x is 3, it's 2. So 3, 2. So somewhere here. At x is 4, it's 1.5. So somewhere here. Okay. And lastly, at x is 5, it's 1.33. Somewhere here. Yan. Ito yung graph natin. Alright. Paano natin ngayon i-connect yung points natin? Take note ha, ang binigay po sa atin is f of x equals x minus 1 over x minus 2. Again, hindi pwede na ang value ng x ay 2 kasi magkakaroon ka ng division by 0. Ibig sabihin nito, hindi pwedeng tumawid yung graph sa x is 2. Hindi dadaan sa x is 2 yung graph natin. Okay. So, let's say, kinonect natin yung from -5 to 1. So, ito yon. Ito yung from x is -5 to 1. Ito naman yung from 3 to 5. Again ha, hindi pwedeng dadaan yung x sa 2, kaya hindi pwedeng i-connect to. Baka kasi maisip mo, ganito yung gagawin mo, So, kukonek ka ng point, gaganyan mo siya. Now, hindi pwede yon. Hindi pwede yan. Again, hindi yan pwede kasi nga dapat hindi dadaan sa 2 yung ating graph. Okay. So, ano ngayon ang mangyayari na dito? Yan. I-discuss natin to in detail in the future. Pero yun nga, for now, again, hindi pwedeng dumaan sa x is 2. Actually, kapag itutuloy mo yung graph, halimbawa, let's say mag-assume ka ng x is 1.5, x is 1.8, x is 1.9. Let's say palapit ka ng palapit sa 2. Mapapansin mo na actually ang mangyayari sa graph mo at this point, bababa siya. Sa kabila naman, habang palapit ng palapit ka rin sa x is 2, so halimbawa, let's say sumobra ka na, so 2.01, 2.02, and so on, malalaman mo na tumataas naman yung graph mo at this point. So as you can see, ano ang nangyayari sa graph natin? Palapit ng palapit yung graph mo sa x is 2, so lumalapit sa x is 2, palapit ng palapit, kaya lang never tatawid yung graph mo sa x is 2. Palapit siya ng palapit sa x is 2, but it will not intersect with it. May tawag tayo actually sa line na x is 2. Ang tawag natin sa mga lines na ganito ay mga vertical asymptotes. Okay, so what are vertical asymptotes? Sila ay mga lines na kung saan yung graph natin, palapit sila ng palapit sa mga lines na ito, pero they will not intersect with it. So, ang tawag natin dito, vertical asymptote. Okay? Minsan, may horizontal asymptotes din. So, kung may vertical asymptotes, pwede rin na magkaroon ng horizontal asymptote. Actually, itong graph na ito may horizontal asymptote din. Let's take a look. Kapag naman, bababaan mo yung x mo, kunyari, magsasubstitute ka ng x is -6, -7, tapos let's say umabot ka na sa x is -100, x is -500, and so on, malalaman mo na ang value ng f of x mo ay palapit ng palapit sa 1. Ganon din actually sa positive side. So let's say nag-substitute ka ng x is 1,000, x is 5,000. Malalaman mo na ang value ng f of x mo ay palapit ng palapit sa 1. So actually, mayroon din tayong asymptote sa may y equals 1. So may asymptote din tayo dito. Ang tawag nga lang natin dito, syempre, since pahiga na siya, ay horizontal asymptote. Hindi pa natin i-discuss ngayon kung paano kumuha ng asymptotes. Don't worry, we will have a different video for that. In-introduce ko lang para at least medyo aware tayo. Okay po, so ganoon lang. So that is our plot for exercise number 2. Okay, let's now go to our last exercise. Plot the graph of the function x squared minus 3x minus 10 divided by x. Okay, so what is given? We are given the function x squared minus 3x minus 10 over x. What is asked? Let's graph the function. Again, to start things off, let's make a table of values. Sige, let's now generate first our table of values. Walang sinabi kung ano ang mga values ng x na gagamitin. So again, bahala na lang tayo doon. For this video, para at least uniform, gamitin na lang din natin from x is negative 5 to x is positive 5. Tapos, ang piliin natin na increment is 1. Isa-isahin lang natin. Sige. Let's use na lang our calculators ulit to make things faster. At x is negative 5, our value will be negative 6. So, paki-confirm na lang sa calculators natin. At x is negative 4, you should get negative 4.5. At x is negative 3, we should get negative 2.67. At x is negative 2, it's 0. At x is negative 1, it's positive 6. At x is 0, what will happen? Of course, if x is 0, balik tayo sa function natin, magkakaroon ka ulit ng division by 0. Ibig sabihin nito, at x is 0, we don't know. Kaya, let us put here undefined. At x is positive 1, it's negative 12. At x is 2, it's negative 6. At x is 3, it's negative 3.33. At x is 4, it's negative 1.5. And lastly, at x is 5, it's 0. Yan po yung mga values na nakuha natin. Alright, after getting the following values, we can now generate our table of values. Again, let us put the values of x sa first column or first row, depende kung anong orientation ng table natin, and the values of f of x on the second row or second column. Patayo na lang ulit ang orientation natin for this table. Okay, so we have the values of x here and the values of f of x here. Now that we have our table of values, let us now plot. So again, let us plot the graph with the values of x on the x-axis and the values of f of x on the y-axis. Ito yung table natin, yan yung basihan natin. So, i-graph na lang natin. Okay. At x is negative 5, the value is negative 6. So, negative 5 somewhere here, negative 6 is here. So, our point ay nandito. Okay? Next. At x is negative 4, it's negative 4.5. So, somewhere here, sabi na lang natin nandyan. Okay. At x is negative 3, it's negative 2.67. So, it's somewhere here. At x is negative 2, saktong 0. At x is 1, it's 6. So, nandoon siya. Again hindi pwedeng maging 0 yung x kasi magkakount tayo ng division by 0. So, wala tayong ilalagay at x is 0. Nakita naman dito undefined. So, punta na tayo sa x is 1, somewhere here. At x is 1, it's negative 12. Okay, so it's there. At x is 2, it's negative 6. At x is 3, it's negative 3.33. At x is 4, it's negative 1.5. And lastly, at x is 5, it's 0. Again, this is our function. Yun nga, hindi pwedeng maging 0 yung value ng x. So, hindi pwedeng dumaan yung graph mo sa x is 0. Thus, if we're going now to connect the points, it will be like this one. Ibig sabihin nito, from what we have, meron ulit tayong vertical asymptote at x is 0. Yung graph natin, palapit ng palapit sa x is 0, pero never niya itong i-intersect. Okay po. So, I hope na clear na po sa atin paano ang basics ng graphing. Again, let's just make the table first and then we plot. In the next videos, i-consider naman natin kailan magkakaroon ngayon ng vertical asymptotes, kailan magkakaroon ng horizontal asymptotes. So, pakiabangan na lang po yung discussion natin para doon. Okay, so that's the end of this video. I hope na somehow na ipakilala na po sa atin ang basics ng graphing of rational function. So I hope we were able to represent a rational function through its graph. Tapos na po tayo sa LBV 1-2.4b. Our next lesson will be LBV 1-2.4c. So more on application na lang siya, halo-halo na magmula sa equation, table of values, and sa graph. Again, for additional problems, you may refer to Quex book on General Mathematics, Chapter 2. Sige po, God bless and see you on the next video.